Hey everybody, greetings from the dank basement. This is your wicked Uncle Squinty with a very short little discussion today about using the snuff bullet. First of all, I would like to thank Zach Shue, Damian Black, and a couple of other very good reviewers, all of whom have covered the snuff bullet in its various permutations. I've got a video on my channel comparing a couple of different snuff bullets, including the Posh Ultimate Brass Bullet and an acrylic bullet like this. There are two things that I really need to say about the snuff bullet. The first thing, and perhaps the most important thing, is that this is not a long-term storage container. Snuff bullets are best if you fill them mostly full, maybe, 7/8 full, pack it lightly, enough snuff to use in an evening or an afternoon, and then start out with a clean bullet the next day and add snuff for that day. Don't try to leave snuff in there for 2 weeks. It'll get stale. I guarantee it. Second thing, I don't know if it has to do with the historic use of these. They were used to deliver nasal medications, for instance, or what the deal is. But most people who use nasal snuff make one, in my opinion, really pretty big mistake. And that is they fill the snuff bullet with a nice chunk of snuff, a nice serving of snuff, and they put it up to their nose, they cover this little carburetor hole, and they snort like they're trying to suck lint off their living room carpet with their nose. It's like, no, don't do that. It's not necessary. You're not snorting coke. You're not blowing meth. You're not snorting heroin. You're not snorting Vicks. You're taking nasal snuff. You don't want the snuff to go much higher than about here in the nose when you insufflate it. You certainly don't want it to go up between your eyes. You're not enjoying the snuff that way. Yes, you'll get the nicotine, but you're not going to really get the nice blossoming of scent, of aroma that snuffers look for, right? So the correct way to use a bullet, and I'm demonstrating here with a cheap acrylic bullet, $3, $4, $5, maybe $6 if they're really taking you on a ride. These are available on eBay for as little as I think $1.50 a piece if you buy them in lots of 5 or 10, so not expensive. Take your snuff bullet, and let's go back to the basics here, filling it and using it. The arrow indicates the direction that the little scoop, there's a little tube that runs perpendicular across the length of I guess we would say it runs the diameter or radially. A little tube that's got a carburetor hole on one side to add air and to pressure the snuff out of the scoop up into your nose. And it's got the dial that lets you know which direction the scoop is facing. So what we want to do is hold that arrow straight up and down. Keep it straight up and down. Rotate the snuff bullet so it's like that. Give it a tap. Flip it over with the arrow pointing up all the time. Now you have a serving of snuff in there. Now, I do use the carb hole on the side of it because I like to have the scoop absolutely cleared with each bump of snuff I take. And that doesn't mean you have to power it up into your nostril. Watch. Learn. Gently. In fact, that was a bad demonstration because I took it too hard myself just now. And it's very easy to do if you cover that carb hole and then release at the point you take your bump. Might be better just to leave that carb hole open and, again, just sniff lightly. I do have to call another reviewer out on something. Zach Shue, I'm sorry, you're wrong. If you have to take your snuff bullet, if it's so packed full of snuff that you have to bang it on a desktop after filling it, or on the tabletop or the bar top after you fill it in order to get a bump, you're just packing too much damn snuff in the thing. It's not supposed to be a solid cake inside there, Zach. Fill it loosely to about, like I said, about 7/8 full. Give enough room for the threads on your cap here to easily seat into the base of the snuff bullet. And don't overfill it. Don't pack it so tight. If you don't pack it tightly, all it should be required is this. Or maybe on the side. I like to use the fingertip flick, pick, 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 like that, and then tap it on the top. And again, always very gently when you take your snuff. And there you have it. Refining your snuff bullet technique. Oh, I forgot to show you one thing. If you're snorting, particularly if you're taking snuff in a group, you're sharing snuff, don't put it up into your nose, please. We don't need to spread rhinovirus. You don't need to do that. What you can do instead is fill your portion of snuff in the bullet's little scoop inside, then make your box cart with your hand, or you can use your anatomical snuff box and that web between the thumb and the forefinger. And just tap it out and take it that way. That way you're not going to be sharing the cold and flu and whatever else by passing around the snuff bullet and letting everybody put it up to their nostril. From the dank basement, I don't know if this helps. Initially, when I started with snuff bullets, I didn't like them. I was always taking just these gigantic bumps of snuff and taking them up too high and gagging and coughing and sneezing, and it wasn't great. But once you learn how to use it with a little bit more finesse, you're going to really like having a snuff bullet. As Zach says, this is an essential snuffing accessory. If you want to snuff while you're out in public, it's a hell of a lot more discreet than pulling out your tin, unscrewing the lid, taking a big old bump with your spoon. I mean, you will get attention, but it might not be good attention, when you do that. If you use one of these, it's sort of like using a Vicks Vapor Rub inhaler or, something like that. Nobody's going to take much notice. The police, on the other hand, will. Be prepared to show them the contents of your snuff bullet if they see you snuffing in public, because they're going to want to know whether or not you're doing something illegal. But generally, this is just a real discreet, nice way to carry an afternoon or an evening's worth of snuff. Take it on the go. You can take it while you're driving. This whole thing can be done one-handed. You can keep your eyes on the road while you take your snuff. It's just a very, very good solution for taking snuff on the go, if you use it correctly. Anyway, I hope that helps. From the dank basement, your wicked Uncle Squinty, who loves you more than words can say, thanks you for watching this video. Please watch some more, and subscribe, and press the like button, and like me on Facebook, and send me big bags of money. Well, okay, forget the money. Hey, can't blame a boy for trying.